Welcome back to Canton Contact. My next guest is here to tell us about a very special fundraising event that's scheduled to take place in Heritage Park to benefit the Wounded Warrior Project. Here with all the details is event organizer and owner of Old Glory Flags and Flagpoles. Joining me now is Rich Keenan.
Hi, Peg. How are you?
Very well, thank you. I'm
Great.
so glad you stopped by to tell us about this exciting fundraising event.
Great. I appreciate it. I'd love to talk about it. So.
What do you have planned for us?
My business for the past couple of years has had a golf outing over at Washington Country Club, and we've had a fair amount of success with that. We've raised about $93,000 over the first 2 years. Last year, I met a gentleman by the name of Dan Nevins down in Jacksonville, Florida. My wife and I were down there visiting, had an opportunity to stop at Wounded Warrior Project. And Dan gave us talk to a bunch of people in the room, and I was completely blown away by this guy. He was one of the most inspirational people I've ever met in my life. But as he talked and he spoke about the difference that Wounded Warriors had made in his life, I couldn't really figure out what was wrong with him physically, because he moved around like any other person, looked like he had no physical ailments whatsoever. And he was about 20 minutes into his talk, and all of a sudden he lifted up his pant leg and said that was the day that I'd lost both my legs. Well, Dan lost both of his legs below the knee over in Iraq about 10 years ago. And just spoke and was an incredibly inspirational character. I was just blown away by his whole story and everything that transpired in his life, that when he was done, I actually chased him out of the room and I said, Dan, I got to get you up to talk to my guys at this golf outing because they'd love to hear your story. He said, let me check my calendar. Well, of course, he had a conflict and couldn't do it. Long story short, Dan left Wounded Warriors to pursue some other initiatives in his life. He got focused on yoga. He met a young lady who had told him that she thought that yoga could help him spiritually and help with his PTSD. And there's a number of stories out there. I think Dan has appeared on NBC Nightly News and even CBS, but his first statement was along the lines of, I don't own any spandex, I'm not doing yoga. And she finally convinced him to do it. And apparently the first time he did it, he felt this awakening and he felt this huge release, and it was something that he knew that he could really focus on the rest of his life. He thought that it was something that made such a profound difference in the way he thought about things, the way he felt, that his life goal was really become to bring yoga to veterans across the board, because he thinks it'll help their focus. So without belaboring the point, he left Wounded Warrior Project but still has some contact with them. When I contacted them this year, I said, I'd love to get Dan Nevins up here. And I threw out to them, I said, if you can get Dan to come up and talk at our golf outing, I told Dan that I'll somehow work with Phil LaJoy here in Canton, and we'll throw a yoga event for Wounded Warriors as well during the same weekend. Well, of course, they got back to me a few minutes later and said Dan's very, very excited about it. In fact, he's more excited about the yoga event, I think, than he is speaking to the golfers. But that's great. So we're having our golf outing at Washington, which is already sold out, on July 29th, which is Friday. And then Saturday morning on July 30th at 9 o'clock over at Heritage Park. We're going to have the yoga event, and Dan will come out and speak to all the participants, tell you a little bit about his life, and we'll do the yoga exercise, for lack of a better term.
Oh.
I'm not sure what they call their sessions.
Sure, yes.
But all proceeds from the event will basically go to the Wounded Warrior Project, just as the golf outing will as well.
Oh, wonderful. It sounds like a great opportunity.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. My wife is into yoga. I've never done it myself. I'll try to do it that day. But I think whether you're into yoga or not, I think it's a great opportunity for anyone that wants to come out and just listen to someone who's got a great inspirational story. And it's a great opportunity to benefit the Wounded Warrior Project.
Absolutely. Now, is there a fee to participate?
There is. It's $35, and with the $35, you will get a yoga mat that'll come in a case with the Wounded Warrior Project logo, and you'll get some other goodies as well, like some of the wristbands, etc. But all proceeds from that, 100% of it, will go to the Wounded Warrior Project in Jacksonville. And they just do some incredible things with the wounded veterans returning from the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. And I couldn't be prouder of the guys that I have working with me. We've got a committee of 8 people, and they've just done fantastic work, and it's for the greatest cause in the world.
Now, for folks at home who, like yourself, may not be into yoga,
Sure.
Is this a session that they can benefit from?
I believe so. I mean, I'd hate to say yes, and they say, well, but I know that a lot of people that have tried yoga have found the benefits right away. Again, I've never tried it, but I know that it's very relaxing for a lot of people. People with physical ailments. I've got a bad back, for instance. I know a lot of people that have back problems have stated that yoga has helped them out immensely. As I've tried to market this thing, I've stopped at some of the local yoga studios, and I've just been very, very impressed with the different stories that I've heard from some of the owners of the studios. Many of them have different focuses. I mean, you know, they're focusing on cancer patients. They're focusing on people that have physical disabilities or other ailments, et cetera. And it's, I don't want to use the term cure-all by any means, but it seems as if it's one of these practices that is benefiting people in a multitude of ways.
Oh, absolutely.
That, I think would be a great opportunity if you want to give yoga a try, to come out and give it a try for that morning. And if it works out for you, you can continue with one of the local yoga studios, excuse me. But at the same time, even if not, you're benefiting the Wounded Warrior Project, which is a great cause.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Now, for the folks at home, where can they find out more information and to register?
Well, they can actually contact the township, and I think you guys are going to put up a website underneath.
CantonFund.org.
Great. You can contact CantonFund.org, or you can contact our store at Old Glory Flags in Livonia, which is our 800 number is 800-454-3773. And if you call us, we can get you registered, and you can give us a credit card over the phone, and we'll get you all set. And you show up that morning, and we'll get you your mat and your other stuff, and we can get going.
Excellent.
Great.
And then we're almost out of time, but if you wouldn't mind just recapping the where and when for folks.
Again, it's going to be on Saturday, July the 30th at 9 o'clock in Heritage Park here over in Canton. Which
Outdoors, it'll be beautiful.
Outdoors,
we're hoping for good weather.
right at the amphitheater. And we're looking for a great event and praying for sunshine. So.
Excellent.
Great.
Well, Rich, thank you so much for stopping by and telling us all these great information about this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, really.
Thank you for having me, and thanks to all who support the Wounded Warrior Project.
We will be right back with more Canton Contact.